Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
Yahoo News has made it a point of highlighting certain juicy or controversy-laden Am I the Asshole Reddit posts. They'll talk about husbands and wives having issues, or boyfriends and girlfriends, or co-parenting, things of that nature. This particular one I found very interesting. I just want to preface it with, before you react to it, this is a high school girl.
Okay,
this girl says, basically 3 days ago, my best friend said cheerleading looked really easy. So easy a toddler could do it. So I made a bet with him that he couldn't learn my cheer routine in 3 days. I said if he learned it and performed it flawlessly, I'd give him a blowjob. Which I know is really stupid, but at the time, I didn't think he'd actually pull it off. Well, today, he actually did it perfectly, and now I owe him a blowjob. Honestly, I don't want to do it. I don't look at him that way, and it'll be very weird. He wants me to come over tonight. I know I can just say I don't want to, but a bet is a bet. And he'll be really upset if I back out. How do I back out without getting upset? You don't!
I would say you don't, but how about this? How about you don't whore yourself out at this age? Come up with something better. Like, I'll give you $10 if you learn it.
So here's a mixture of how people responded to this story. You had the people saying that you should make him an alcoholic beverage that is called a blowjob. Like, ha 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 ha, here you go. People were telling her how to make this drink called a blowjob.
Oh, I've heard of it. I have Mrs. Number One fan get one on her birthday when we went bar hopping. It was quite funny watching her drink it.
Was it nasty?
No. Have you not seen someone take a blowjob shot?
No, and I have a hard time keeping a straight face when you
ask
me
go ahead.
that.
So we went to the Mall of America on the 4th floor there,
and
it was like a Thursday night, so there was like nobody there. Bartender told us about the drink called a blowjob. It's a shot. She had to put her hands behind her back and, like, mouth that fucking shot glass in her lips and then drink it that way. He says that's how you're supposed to take the shot. I should have asked him how many guys order that, but I didn't.
Probably very few. And the ones that do are probably wearing glitter. There's another segment of people that were saying, he's an asshole if he expects it, or if he makes you follow through, which... Obviously, you can't make her follow through if she doesn't want to, because that's called rape. Let me go through a few of my favorite comments to this. There's a lot of comments attacking your friend here. Firstly, you don't owe him a blowjob if you don't want to give him one. However, by making this bet, you've implied that you would be willing to give him one, and he may have even assumed you're into him because you suggested it. So you need to talk to him and tell him that you made a mistake by suggesting the bet. I'm hoping you've kept this between yourselves and not told everyone you know about this.
Yeah, I have to go back to that people saying he's an asshole for expecting it. I don't know how I feel about that, because I kind of feel like he is. I mean, it's not your girlfriend. It's not somebody that clearly has an interest in you, other than the fact that she offered quite an amazing thing in exchange for...
Well, they're close friends.
What does close friends mean? I have close friends that were girls that I would never do.
Because they're ugly.
No, because they were my friends' exes.
Now, that's an entirely different class.
Kind of.
Only a schmuck wants their friend's sloppy seconds.
I did it once. Cost me a friendship.
Yeah, they'll do that. Somebody else says, you suggested a blowjob. You acted like it was something you'd be willing to do. It's on you to just admit you fucked up and apologize for doubting his physical abilities to the point that you thought this was an impossible feat for him.
Ooh, I like that one.
That's very astute. If he tries to make you give him a blowjob, he's an asshole, but so far all he's done is take you at your word. As mentioned, he may think you like him purely based on the fact you would make a bet like this. So you need to have a conversation with him and explain yourself. If he's really your friend, he'll accept that. And if he's a good friend, he'll only bring it up whenever you trash talk each other. Like, remember that time you thought I couldn't get your routine, you bought me a blowjob and I did it, now you done fucked me off.
You know, it's funny, I actually had this conversation with Mrs. Number One fan yesterday.
Oh, is it about the cat?
Yeah.
Oh, go on. I never get sick about hearing of this one.
So I don't know if I ever told you this, and I'm going to let it out for everyone to hear. Back when we were waiting to see what Turtle was going to be, if she's going to be a boy or girl, getting the ultrasound, I made a bet Because I was so sure that my bloodline was going to produce another boy that I was just like, I'm taking bets. And she's like, well, what do I get if I win? I said, you can paint my toenails.
Uh-huh.
She's never collected on that. So when I reminded her yesterday about the deal we had in exchange for the second cat, she's like, well, you remember that bet we made back when Turtle was in my womb? I was like, yeah. She's like, haven't collected on it yet. So you want to do it tonight? We'll go in the bedroom. You can paint him up right now. You can paint him any color you want. Because I want to collect on mine.
Yeah, you see, here's the thing of why that's a bullshit call on her behalf. That's apples to oranges. Because if she was wrong, what would you win?
I think I was going to get a BJ. I can't remember.
So she's really great at leveraging something she knows you want and then hoping she doesn't have to deliver. And even when she's supposed to deliver, not deliver. But the difference was it was a harmless bet when you were trying to figure out the gender of your unborn child together. The cat situation was different. She leveraged your willingness to let that animal into the home by promising to suck you off, 3 times a week?
Once a week.
Once a week? That's still pretty good for someone that's been married for this many years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not the same fucking thing. So for her to throw that in your face, I would have been like, you bargained your way into that animal.
Yeah, well,
we
that's
just
what I told
simply
her.
had something.
That's what I told her. I said, it was your proposal. I said, make me an offer. And I told her I was expecting something like a foot rub every couple of weeks. Or, I would have gladly taken that too. But she was like, that's what you offered me. And at first she tried denying she ever did that deal. She's like, I don't remember making that deal. I said, trust me, you did. But as soon as I think she thought about it for a minute, she realized, wait a minute. Yeah, I did make that. But I never got my toenail painting experience. So, anyway, back to...
Yeah. So here's another good one. An unthinkable idea, really. But has this original poster considered that the friend might have thought this was her way of hitting on him? He's a 17-year-old boy, and they're dumb and permanently horny. So I think people should chill out about the weird vibes or whatever.
I wouldn't say permanently, just for about the next 10 years.
Somebody else, obviously, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. It's one of those things that won't matter at all as time goes on.
Once you graduate, you'll never see him again, so...
Probably. Now, there's a bunch of people that I thought were stupid assholes. Because they're like, oh, you should just tell him, you don't feel comfortable doing that, but do something else like buy him coffee. And I just thought, how the fuck is that equitable?
But if he doesn't like coffee?
I don't like coffee.
I don't
and
either.
If you're like, well, I'll take you out to eat. No, that's not what you said you do. Obviously, you can't force someone. So this is the unstoppable force meets the immovable object.
Exactly.
Of you made the bet and he's expecting you to deliver or else you would not have offered, he's thinking, versus I wasn't serious and I didn't think he'd pull it off and ha, oops.
Stupid bitch.
If you didn't want him to try hard enough to succeed, you should have offered him something less. Like, I'll give you $10, as I said before. You don't offer up a BJ for something like this. Cause you know that kid went home and practiced every fucking night. Told all his buddies, most likely.
Most likely.
I know I would have.
A few people in that buy him coffee category said things like, I think she was wrong to ever make a bet like that, and I think she should at least be offering something significant, but not sexual, considering how much effort he probably put into this routine. It had to at least have been a few hours, and I find it hard to believe that over the course of 3 days, they, as best friends, didn't communicate about it at all. So I would assume she was at least somewhat aware of how much work he was putting into it. If I was him, I wouldn't expect a blowjob, but I'd be kind of pissed if the alternative she offered was a cup of coffee. Exactly.
Yeah.
A cup of coffee. I'll buy you coffee.
Give me a massage. Rub my shoulders and my feet. I don't know.
I don't know why I put 2 asterisks next to this one, but she doesn't legally owe him anything. If she doesn't want to be a complete a-hole and keep him as a friend, she owes it to him to apologize and make good on the bet another way. Just like a free dinner or something. It's crazy the double standard in this subreddit. If a guy made a bet and tried to back out after losing, there would be an uproar about him being an asshole. Original poster loses a bet she made and somehow the best friend is the asshole anyway? 2 asterisks meant that I really liked that one. Original poster, you made a bet. No, that doesn't mean you have to give him a BJ. It does mean that if your word means anything and you want to keep him as your best friend, you owe him an apology and some other prize.
Here, have a free kitten.
No. Girl, no, it was a silly bet. You owe him nothing. And to be honest, if he were really a true friend, he wouldn't expect it. Ghost his ass. That's just the voice that was saying that in my head. Somebody says, pretty sure she's trying to save the friendship, ignoring him and not even explaining she won't do what he's expecting, but she's sorry. She made the bet as a good way to end that friendship. You're absolutely right. It's her body, and she doesn't have to do anything. But it would be heartless to not even apologize for making a bet she never planned to follow through with. He didn't do anything wrong or deserving of just being ghosted. Somebody laugh my ass off. This dumb bitch bets a guy he can't do something. He does the thing, and you say ghost him as if he's the bad guy here. Original poster is the dumb one. No, she doesn't owe him shit, but she's the one who fucked up, not him. Another one says, you don't owe him anything. It was a silly bet. If he gets mad, he isn't your best friend. Tell him you don't want to do it and you were kidding and that you didn't think he'd actually try to collect on it. That's fucking idiotic.
Should have said you were kidding as soon as you were done saying, I'll give you a BJ.
It's even worse that if he gets upset, he has dubious sexual boundaries, and I would stay well clear of him. Everyone knows that some bets go too far and are therefore not taken seriously. Expecting sex for losing a bet clearly goes too far and lands squarely into coercion and rape land. That's why no one would expect such a bet to be taken seriously. And my response to that is, are you fucking kidding me? She made a bet and she set the wager. So if he's like, well, you said you do it. But that's coercion if he tells her, like, well, you said that you would. Not like he's holding a gun to her head. He's not like, well, you said you would, you blind bitch. And he grabs her by the ears, just, rah, 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 just fucks her throat till it falls right off.
That puts a disturbing picture in my head.
It should. There is no love in that act.
I took a BJ off a girl when we were playing Monopoly because she landed on my property and I had a hotel.
Huh. I guess I just didn't play enough Monopoly.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't even think we were really into each other. It's just kind of like, okay, it was like, okay.
Yeah, because it's a blowjob and you can close your eyes and pretend it's somebody much prettier. As long as she's not, gouging that thing up like it's a chew toy.
I had one girl do that. Ugh.
It's not good.
Well, so-and-so liked it with teeth. Yeah, I'm not so-and-so.
Who the fuck liked it with teeth? That is the stupidest fucking comeback I've heard to any bitch who failed at a sex act.
Like, it was bad.
So-and-so liked it with teeth. You are full of shit.
By far the worst blowjob I've ever had.
God damn it. That pisses me off, and I wasn't even the one that got my cock chewed on. Here's a few more, and then I'll give you my thoughts on this. You don't owe anyone a sexual favor. He can claim up and down, but if he pressures you, he deserves to be upset. Please stay safe with it and decline him with at least people in eye shot. But you don't need to do this. So apparently all men are rape machines because she needs to deny him within eye shot of other people. Lest he grabs her by the ponytail, drags her into a fucking janitor's closet, and just rah, 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 fucks her in the throat until it falls right off. Never give any sexual favor you do not really want to give. Bet or no bet, your own free will to decide what sex acts you will or will not do trumps any bet. If he gets upset, you could actually call the cops, as that would amount to coercion. Getting upset is illegal and equates to coercion now? Really? If he gets upset, that's coercion? No, if he tries to get you to do it, and then you begrudgingly do it, that's coercion.
I mean, I know she said in her thing that she doesn't really want to do it and everything, but, I mean, it's that never give a sexual favor you do not really want to give. Well, part of her probably wanted to do it because she wouldn't have offered it otherwise. I don't offer things that I don't want to do, Like, I'm not going to offer to give my wife a shoulder rub if I don't want to do it. I'm going to offer her something that I'm willing to do.
Like eat her ass?
Ew.
Not even just a lick?
No.
Fresh out of the shower?
No, for God's sake.
If she douches her ass even?
Do you mind?
It's just her asshole.
Yeah, and I know what comes out of there.
Love.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. Love's what's go into there. Shit's what comes out. Sorry. Backwards.
So part of me has to say that, I mean, she had second thoughts. But there's a small part of her, I think, wanted to do it.
Okay. That's an interesting take. Somebody else. Good God, you gotta admire his effort. Also, what the fuck were you thinking? Anyways, you owe him a blowjob. Doesn't mean you have to be the one performing it, right? Find him a gay dude who's willing to give him one, and he will pass up the offer, hopefully.
I like that.
No broken promises, no harm done. You are welcome.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Compromise. Obviously, don't give him a blowjob if you're uncomfortable with it. Everyone saying you should tell him to fuck off, it was a joke, is wrong, though. You did promise him, and he will be pretty disappointed. If you're backing out, you should apologize and maybe treat him to some food or a movie or something to make him feel he didn't waste so much time learning a stupid routine. I'm sure you don't need to be told this, but never bet on sexual favors, especially with someone you're not in a sexual relationship with. Okay, yeah, see, you give them something and you apologize, but...
Why does it always go to food? Buy him a watch.
Like a shitty watch at Walmart?
Yeah, $10 watch girl gives me. Oh, okay, I'll take a $10 watch.
Okay.
Gonna break it anyway.
Are you ready for my really vicious take?
Yeah, let's do this.
I don't know why this letter pissed me off so much.
Was it her letter or was it everybody's response?
No, it was hers.
Okay.
Because I just could not believe that she set herself up to fail so fantastically, and then was like, "Oh, I didn't think you'd do it. I was just kidding." No, you're just kidding now that you realize, shit. But here's my take. You're an unforgivably stupid bitch. You casually wagered something that any girl your age who isn't mentally retarded should know a guy his age would do anything for. Why is that? Because he's into you. That is why you're even friends at this point. And I say this as a guy. It's next to impossible for a male to be friends with a female without liking them as more than a friend. And to make matters worse, you offered him a sexual favor that he is definitely going to break his back to earn. Why? Because it is the best of all non-intercourse sex acts. A mouth hug. They feel incredible, and getting one is like winning an Olympic medal to a high school boy. Not having the presence of mind to realize all of this makes you irresponsible, a shitty friend, and a tease. You're the one who threw down this laughably egotistical gauntlet, so you are a mega bitch for placing a wager like this to someone you say is your, quote, best friend. He simply made fun of cheerleading, and you let your foolish pride take over. So, here's a key point that no one seems to be hitting in these comments. You essentially implied you're better than him and trivialized his intelligence. Oh no, a boy talked down to you. So then here you come, proud of your pointless and literally unimportant extracurricular activity and ability to do it. You act like parading around in that ridiculous uniform to choreograph moves and shouting words of support mean anything more than fuck all. And that skill doing that is hard to come by. You are going to make some guy a great practice wife someday. There is no positive outcome from this. You ruined the friendship crossing the line into sexual interest territory and by so thoughtlessly overpromising on the prize here. Worse yet, no secondary reward will fix how disappointed and angry he's going to feel, even if he truly is the best kind of friend. So do him a favor and admit to being a dumb as a box of rocks type of bitch, and then get the word cunt tattooed on your forehead. Shitty bet, shitty intentions, shitty friend, shitty attitude, shitty outcome, all your fault. Now, why was I so torqued over this? I sat and thought about it. And here's what I've come to realize. I have been a guy who was wild about a female friend and been toyed with before, and it feels incredibly shitty. Because not only are the feelings unreciprocated, but you got your hopes up only to find out how little that person really thinks of you. Does that make you worthless? No. Are they a terrible person? Basically, yes. And if anyone leads another person on when feelings are involved, or if they have some sort of established emotional attachment to each other, of any level, it can be soul-crushing. And honestly, women play men like this all the time. We are easily manipulated when we care about you, and using that against us is exactly why meeting the right person is so goddamn hard. The world is full of duplicitous broads who tinker with men's heads and hearts for amusement. It is one of the cruelest things you can do to someone who cares about you.
Yeah.
Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
And that's the end.